Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. We're still just kicking off October 1982, and we were playing the release of Carnival, first time it came home from the arcades. Before we go forward, we have to go back. I want to re-rate the ColecoVision of Carnival. It must have been the allure of the ColecoVision being the 6th game, but I'm going to say this is a 3-star game, very average if you think of every other game you could be playing right now on a home console. As far as the Intellivision, it's still a 2-star game. Let's press forward and see our next game. We're going to the Commodore VIC-20, and this is Catacombs. This is from a magazine, so we're going to be typing this into play. It's from your computer, the October 1982 issue. And there it is, through the VIC Catacombs. This is by Patrick Edmond. It's a game of high-resolution graphics. I'm reading this from the article, by the way. It's really not high-resolution graphics. You can work with a keyboard or joystick. After 30 seconds, the explorer's candle is snuffed out by a mysterious breeze so he can see to pick up the gold coins. You're supposed to collect gold coins and dots and get bonuses from the catacombs. You only have a chance of 3 lives. Press a key to restart, and there's all the code. So spend the time to type it all in, and you can play a game. Let's type in and play Catacombs by Patrick Edmond, published by the IPC Business Press, whenever you could type it in October 1982. There we go. I'm going to speed up this little load. We're not going to wait for that one to go in. Okay, so now we're in, and I'm at the bottom of the screen as the humanoid figure. I am wandering a maze, picking up dots. So it is yet another Pac-Man variant. They even have cherries. Nice. Oh, okay, he's not going to come after me. Oh, he is! He did come after me. The gameplay is very, very sluggish. It is a type-in game, so right now it feels very, very slow, sluggish, non-responsive whenever I decide to move. So, oh, the light went out. I turned red, so now I got to find one of the bells on the sides. Let's see if we can get one before the ghosts get us. Whenever your light runs out, you can't see to pick up the gold coins on the ground or the dots. So you have to go to one of the bells over here, get the bell, and you're back in business. And now you can continue to pick up dots. So in a way, it is a Pac-Man variant. You know, we're moving around a top-down maze, picking up dots. But this one doesn't have power-ups. All it is you get diminished in power, and then you have to restore that power. So it's almost like a step back from Pac-Man. That's true. It is very free. You'd have to type this in in your magazine, but yikes. I've already seen a rating from Brian out there. This one marks our 111th Pac-Man variant we've played. That's so many Pac-Man games that let's just talk about all the ones here on this computer on the VIC-20. This is the 13th Pac-Man game we played on the Commodore VIC-20. And some of the more recent ones that we played have been stuff like Puck-Man, 3D Man, which is a 3D maze game, Amazing by Audiogenic, Android Attack by Titan, Vic-Min, Super Chomper, and Applebug. And from all of those games that are like Pac-Man, I would lump this right in between Applebug and Super Chomper. So I'm going to say of all the games you could play right now on a home computer, that's a 1.5-star game. Yes. For a type-in game, it's just too slow. I mean, we played some slow games that run on basic, but this it's noticeably lots of lag for it. Jelly Monsters is still the best way to play Pac-Man on your Commodore VIC-20 right now. All right, with that, let's see what our next title is. We're now going to the TRS-80 and playing Cavern Quest. It's another type-in game. Why not? Here it is from Softside Magazine. This one marks our 17th game that we've typed in and played from Softside Magazine. The October 1982 issue. And there it is, Cavern Quest by Barry Diller. Way to go, Barry. They describe it as an arcade-style strategy game for the TRS-80. No, it's not strategy. You'll see what it is. On the Model 1 or 3, at least 32K of RAM, and it's using Z-Basic. You've been in a bad situation before. This one takes the prize. A chance encounter with a rock fragment in space has crippled your mining survey rocket and forced you to land near a mountain on a small asteroid. The damage to your ship can be repaired, but you've lost most of the rocket fuel. Unless you find a fuel source in this barren asteroid, you'll never see home again. And it goes on. There's lots of story, and then it explains how to play the game. Pretty cool whenever you would get a magazine and be able to type in to play these things. Yeah, there we go, Russell. Yeah, back in the day, this would be great if you want to get through all the bugs, because you usually type them in and figure out that something has gone wrong. Hopefully nothing goes wrong for us. Let's type in and play some Cavern Quest. This is Barry Diller, published by Softside, at some time when you typed it in October 1982. All right, here we go. I am not going to spend the time to type the entire game in. Every type-in game has automatically been made for us, so we're not going to spend hours and hours watching someone type in the game. Not here on Chronologically Gaming. Here we go, Cavern Quest by Barry Diller. Already, this has the presentation of a much better game that you would type in than anything we've seen so far. Alright, so by the way, this game is going to be getting a sequel, possibly. Cavern Quest 2 is on the Coco in 1990, but we're never going to get to the 90s. I mean, come on. Let's go with number 1. Starting a new game, and we're in. Alright, so here we go, Cavern Quest. I am below the rocket as this character, and every time you dig in the mine, it uses a blast up. It's keeping track of them in the top right. As I move, I'm digging through the ground. And we have an enemy that's over on the left side. I don't want to let him out, so I'm going to make my way down. Every time I blow something up, it uses up one of my blasts. If I collect an asterisk, then I'm able to gather more blasts. So I see one over on the right side. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up, digging my way around all the way there. And then you see I got some more blasts. We got an enemy that could be coming after us. Now, here's where this gets interesting. Watch whenever I take this blast to the side. It drops the blocks down. I'm going to do it again. Watch. That is so huge because this marks our 13th game that had a digging element or some kind of mining or digging element. The very first one we saw was on the Commodore PET as miner in April of 1980. And then since then, we've seen lots of games that involve digging, like Robbie Roto in the arcade in 1981. And then Borderline or Star Raker had it where you're digging through the grass as the Jeep by Sega in the arcades in 1981. And then Eureka in March of 1982. And then, of course, the really big one that everyone knows when you think of when you see this game, Dig Dug, had in April 1982. And then we played The Pit, which was in the arcades by Century that had a digging element. And then after that was Gold Rush on the VIC-20 and the Atari home computer. And all these digging games, like even the educational one, Number Nabber and Shape Grabber, they all have this digging element going on. Mr. Do was one of the most recent ones with wiping. But all those games do not have this, where I drop and the rock falls down. Now, Dig Dug kind of did, where something fell, but it didn't have the physics of connecting multiple rocks together. So this, ladies and gentlemen, predates a game we haven't even seen yet, and that's Boulder Dash. This is the very first Boulder Dash-like game, and it's from a magazine. So that's why I wanted to show this one off. And it also opens up a larger world for you to explore. Notice that we're scrolling when we move around. Oh, no, he's coming. Oh, gosh. He's coming for me. I'm going to go down here. I'll take his spot. Let's see if we can go. No, we can't go that way. Let's see if we can sneak down this way. Nope. Can't get through there. So you see how I can't get through whenever we drop the rocks down. So it looks like I'll have to go this way. Oh, man, he got me. But the screen is not just scrolling in one direction. It's scrolling in multiple directions very slowly, one tile at a time. But it's still allowing you to explore this alien world. I know, so everyone that's seen the show, depending on when you've seen it, you've seen games that are like this, but this is the very first game that's doing anything close to Boulder Dash, allowing you to drop multiple rocks down. So cool. I'm going to keep digging on this side. So a mechanic that I thought was introduced from Boulder Dash, it's here even earlier than that. It's awesome. All right, let's just make our way down. We'll skip this guy. Let's see if I can just walk past. Yeah, there we go. And the same thing works with, just like, I'm comparing it to Boulder Dash, but we haven't even seen it yet, is whenever you move, whenever you're underneath the rock, you have just a split second to move out of the way before it drops down. Get some more blasts, and I think we've reached, yeah, so we've reached a dead end. So we got more blasts, but now we got to sneak our way past the guard up there. I also don't know if I can smash him down like Dig Dug. Okay, he got me. So this was a free game, a type-in game, and it's utilizing an element that we haven't seen in any other digging games from all those digging games we played so far. I got to give it props. I know that we kind of unfairly put computer games with type-in games, all lumped in together, and a lot of times it's pretty unfair. But this one, I am very impressed. I'm actually going to say, of all the games you could play right now on a home computer, this is excellent. This is a digging game beyond anything else, incorporating something we haven't seen yet. And yeah, Manly, Burger Time has come out of the kind of dropping down platforms. I guess you could say that's kind of the same thing too. Yeah, so this is excellent. I'm going to say, of all the games right now on a home computer, I want to see the ending. I've also heard that there is an end if you make it to the fuel, to the end of the game. So it's not randomized. It's the same game every time. But I'm going to go 4 stars. I think this is incredible. Plus, we're finding a game that's doing Boulder Dash before Boulder Dash even exists. And I'm a huge fan. I love Boulder Dash whenever we get to it. All right, let's see what our next game is. All right, it's time to go to the Atari home computer and play chess. 7.0. Chess 7.0. This is by Larry Atkin. Way to go, Larry. Really cool front of the box for chess. This is the very first game we've seen by Odesta. The Mind of Man series. You flip it over on the back and it has the other games that we're probably going to see, Checkers and Odin, which looks pretty much like Reversi or Othello. And there's an example of what the screenshot looks like. Yeah, so this one doesn't have too much. Let's just pop in and play some chess. At sometime in the beginning of October 1982. This one marks our 24th chess video game we played here on the show, and this game is also available for the Apple II and then later on the Commodore 64 and MS-DOS. Here it is first. I know, right? Why do we get 7.0? And I haven't seen it in the other versions. Whenever I look on Atari Mania or a few other Atari databases, there's no other chess versions. All right, so I'm just going to play a quick round to show you what it's like. We'll go in to demonstrate how the program works. This one has kind of a run ahead, are you sure you want to make that move feature? And we've seen a couple chess games that do that. Here we go. White pieces go first. Get started, select an option. Got it. And you have no grid. Notice they're not showing you column and row names. You don't have to type anything in. It's all point and select. In fact, everything on the left right side, you're using your joystick to select. So it is chess, but it has a level more like a console chess game rather than playing on the computer. I mean, most of the micros that we play, you have to type in the coordinates for wherever you want your chess pieces to go. There we go. Look at that. You select what it is and then go for it. That's right, Manly. I love it. So you see it moves the piece, and it's pretty brisk. Most chess games still at the time have a long time to wait before their turn, especially if you up the difficulty. And this one has several different modes. We're playing on the easiest mode to go. It's going to switch sides. Now the black's turn to go. Yep, there the black has their move. So it's chess, but as far as computer games go, having the interface where you're able to select it without putting the coordinates in, that's a plus. I think it's pretty good. But that's all we're going to play for chess here on Chronologically Gaming. For all the chess games so far that you can play on a home computer, it's got a stiff competition. There's some really, really good ones that have been out there. And then home consoles have chess games too. Plus, it's your cup of tea. Do you want to play chess or just use a board game yourself? So I'm going to say of all the games we've played so far, this is still about average. Maybe even 3.5 if you were a hardcore chess fan, but still are on the average range of computer games you could play. Yeah, Charlie's throwing out the 3.5 star rating there. All right, with that, let's see the next game. This is the chess player for the Sinclair ZX81. Oh, I'm sorry, no, the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. The chess player, okay, so we have another chess game for us. Let's take a look at the cassette case. Whoa, that is epic. The chess player is a one-player chess game. You are playing as the chess player, which is that robot. Really, really nice artwork for a chess game. I think it might be one of the best front covers we've seen for any chess game. And then besides that, this game has something that no other chess games have, and that is lore. The earth hung in the void, turning on its axis, basking in the sun. Thus far in its life, the earth had suffered no major discomforts. The odd ice age or two, pinpricks here and there from man's bombs. When it was still young, it remembered the near miss it had with a comet. And I'm not going to keep going, but can you believe the lore? The chess player, however, is another kettle of octopi entirely. Worse than any average evil being, he is truly nasty and unpleasant. The chess player chooses to toy with planets before destroying them, playing chess with the race he wishes to conquer. And now the chess player is hanging just above the thick atmosphere of Earth and snickering to himself. The Earth knows it is only... I'm not going to keep going. There's some other games by Quicksilver, by the way, above my head, but wow. Lore in a chess game? We haven't had anything like that before. There it is. The Specky. I'll take it. And there's our cassette we're going to pop into play. We only need a 48K on our Spectrum to play the Chess Player. This one marks our 8th game that Quicksilver has made here on the show. There's lots of other alternate versions, including a re-release in Germany. Let's pop in The Chess Player by Martin Wren Hilton, published by Quicksilver at sometime in the beginning of October 1982. All right, you want to play or analyze a board? We want to play. We're not going to analyze anything. And we do have a color television. Do you want to load a board? No, we do not. Your color, we're starting with white because we can go first. And here's what's interesting. This one has different levels of play. And if you had the inside sleeve of your cassette, you can see if you play on easy, the maximum amount of time it's going to take on easy is 7 seconds for the computer to make its move. If you play on reasonable, it'll take a maximum of 50 seconds to make its move. If you play on above average, it'll take 3 to 4 minutes to make their move. If you play on good, it'll take a maximum of 6 minutes. But if you play on the very strong difficulty level, it'll take up to 6 hours for the computer to make its move. 6 hours. That means you're essentially making one move a day to play chess. Which, did anyone do that? Show of hands? I don't think so. So we're going to go, obviously, with easy because we're going to wait 6 hours for the computer to make its move. This is the point of no return. This is the Chess Player. And you can't play with someone else. By the way, the last game, Chess 7.0, you could play with 2 people if you wanted to. This one is a single-player only game. All right, so make your move. We have to do the coordinates again. So if I wanted to like bust out my knight right now, I would have to type in B1 to C3. And there you go. I moved my knight, which I thought I was playing as white pieces, but apparently I'm playing as red. Maybe it did chip tune. That's awesome. I know if you're taking that long, Curtis, it's pretty much like chess by mail, which it's already out here. Like if you had a phone connection, you could be playing chess like that. But to play a single player game, 6 hours, I don't know if anyone would be down for that. You see, Black made their move, and you can keep going. I'll take him out. Sure. C3 to D5. Come at me. What are you going to do now? Oh, it's taking a little longer this time. It should only be 7 seconds, though, before it does its move. It wasn't expecting that one. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. Just bring out the queen already. Too cool. Well, there you go. That's the Chess Player. We're not going to play that much of the Chess Player here on Chronologically Gaming. Of all the games you can play right now, we've seen a talking chess game on the ZX Spectrum. We've seen chess games for 1 or 2 players. We've seen interfaces that are better than this, so I'm going to have to go subpar of all the games you can play right now. But to tell you the truth, I kind of want to bump it up because of the lore. Quicksilver has the guts to put a story in this. But I'll still say 2.5 stars because think of all the computer games you can play. There's much better than a chess game with story. All right, let's see what our next title is. Here we go, the big one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Choplifter for the Atari home computer. Let's check it out. We've already seen Choplifter. It's released on the Apple II in May 1982, and this is the second port after the Apple II. There's also going to be a Choplifter on the VIC-20 before we close out the end of the year, and Choplifter is well known for starting on the computer, but eventually it will get an arcade port. Very, very rare. And there's also a later version. This is the first time we're going to play this on the Atari, but there is a later one that was for the XE game system, which was the short-lived console in 1988. So we will see Choplifter again, kind of in this format. All right, let's flip it over on the back. And you got to love that box, right? So this one's the disc version, and it has the same story it did on the Apple II. Most of us would like to be heroes. Trouble is, we're often not properly prepared when the chance to do something heroic comes along. This is your chance. And it explains the history because this game takes place in the Bungling Empire, or the very first game to be in the Bungling Empire. We're going to see a few other games by Broderbund that take place there. So this is a arcade-style game for the 400, 800. You only need 48K. Joystick controlled. Way to go, Broderbund. What else do we got for Choplifter? There's the cartridge. So there is a version on disc and there is a version on cartridge. I highly recommend the cartridge for faster load times. So cool. And then there it is, the 5 1/4 floppy disk. If you were so inclined to play on the disc, and there it is, out of its sleeve, or another version of it, with an example of a screenshot. All right, so let's look at the inside sleeve of Choplifter. The rules are hostages are locked in barracks, 16 per barrack. One barrack has been blown open so hostages can get free. You'll need to figure out how to free the other hostages without getting them killed. The object of the game is retrieve the hostages, return them home to the home base safely. You have to land your helicopter close to them so they climb in, then return and put them down on the landing pad next to the post office in order for them to scramble out. Don't land on the hostages. That kills them. There's a score in the top left. The left shows how many hostages have been killed. The middle shows the number of hostages inside your chopper, and the right shows the number of hostages safely returned. Maximum score is 64 hostages. You get 3 helicopters or 3 lives, and here's where the difference is between the Atari and the Apple. The control. The chopper will respond logically to up, down, sideways, just like it did on the Apple. But a short press of the joystick button will fire. A medium press will put your chopper in tank attack posture or facing in front. And a long press will turn the chopper completely around. Because we're playing this on an Atari joystick, there's only one button, so you have to play the entire game using one button. It's tricky. So the bunglings have 3 weapons at their disposal, and this is the different enemy types we'll run into. You have the cartridge version, you put it in the left-hand slot, and then it shows you the keys that you can use to play. And then here it is. If you have the version for the disc, this is what it looks like. But it's pretty much the same explanation here. There you go. And I like what they did here over on the right side. Francis Scott Key, Boris Spassky, and Albuquerque. Very nice. That's Dan Gorlin comedy. All right, so this one has other versions, including a color version and a modified version of it. We're going to play the original. Let's pop it and play Choplifter. This is Dan Gorlin, ported over himself, published by Broderbund at sometime in the beginning of October 1982. This marks Broderbund's 27th game we've played here on Chronologically Gaming. And I'm going to go a little bit. There we go. Choplifter flies in, and then it goes right into an attract mode. So this isn't me playing. It's just showing you what the game is, how to rescue the hostages. I'm just going to go right in to playing it. I want to show you what the game is like. Ready, push, and start. And we're in. First sortie. So the game already begins with the joystick feeling really, really good. And whenever it's time to shoot, you just have to remember to tap that button. When we played this on the Apple, you had one button to shoot, but then the second button on the Apple joystick, you would do a short press to center it like that, and then a long press to turn it around in the opposite direction like that. But now everything's controlled with one button, so you have to do a quick fire shot for your normal shot, hold it down just a little bit to center the helicopter like this, and then hold it all the way down to turn it around the other way. So it's almost like you have to have some fine-tuned controls pushing that one red button to make it work. All right, there's the post office. Let's look for somebody. I love this, man. It's amazing they got that parallax scrolling look on the ground there. So cool. But already this is an amazing game. All right, let's keep going. All right, so I got to center myself to take out the tank. Drop down a little bit lower. Okay, nice. Looks pretty good. Let's keep moving over. Got another tank. Oh, yeah. Play control still feels great. All right, so let's lower this guy. Oh, man, he shot up my man. And it shows the death there. So let's land carefully. Everyone get to the chopper. No, no, another tank showed up. Don't kill him. And I'm trying to be really careful. He's right in the line of fire. That guy needs to get out of the way. There you go. We'll land right there. Nice. Well, one reason the colors look a little dim is because the Apple version has the artifacting. If you turn the artifacting off, you see a lot more black and white displayed here on the screen. And with the monitors that you'd have to run an Atari game, to have the color come in, I turned on the artifacting. That's why it looks a little dim or darker. I think these tanks just come non-stop. Yeah, and the Atari computer really wasn't as impressive with colors. The majority of the games, if you wanted some nuanced colors, you would have to program it bearing in mind that the artifacting would add color to it later. Oh, we did it. Go, go, go. Run, run, run. All right, I'm getting really risky because this has a really cool risk reward. How many guys can you get in the helicopter before a tank shows up and blows you up? So I'm not going to chance it. We're running. Back to the helicopter, or back to the post office. There it is. And land careful. Nice. Still really enjoy the physics of the helicopter. It feels incredible. There's everyone rescued. We got 14. Very nice. Make our way over on the side. Oh, now they're busting out the other plane. I can't go down and take them out. So as far as gameplay goes, this first port is working very well aside from the one button. Now, does the one button really make a big difference? I would say yes, it does. Having one button to be able to do shoot and turn, you cannot simultaneously do that now. I can't, and I also have to have a nuance in how I push the button down. Yep, I can understand me losing more deaths because I have to know exactly how long I did the button for it. Yeah, that's right, parallax scrolling on the Atari home computer. That's true, they could have done better. I also don't know if it's keyboard controlled. On the instructions, everything says joystick only, or have to have a joystick, and when I try to do things on the keyboard, it doesn't work. So maybe if there was a way that you could use two buttons and then use the keys on the keyboard to control the helicopter, then you would get a lot better life out of this. But this is still, yes, I'm with you there. This is arcade quality, and this is top-tier gaming for home computers right now. When we saw this on the Apple II, I still was blown away and gave it 5 stars of all the games you could play. This one is still up there as an incredible game. One of the best ones you could play on any... Oh, do we have to bust open the door? On any home computer, this one's a win. No! See, that's really tricky to get your turning down and your shots down at the same time. It's a little more difficult here on the Atari than it was on the Apple II. Oh yeah, the slowdown. We saw that as well on the Apple II. It slowed down just a little bit. We're pushing the computers too far. Oh, go, 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 quick, before the tank shows up. Alright, we're getting out of here. We're about to blow up. Let's see if we can take this guy out. Okay, got him. Land. Don't squish anyone. Quickly, before the fighter comes up. Alright, we're doing good. Go, go, go. Everyone get to the chopper. Alright, I'm not going to chance it. We're out of here. Flying away. And this is the other thing. You can sometimes get intercepted by some of the planes when you fly back. Ooh, yes. Yeah, good point, Curtis. So it should have been better on the Atari. There we go, rescuing everyone. Looking pretty good. And it also depends on which Apple, because at this point you can have the Apple II Plus. Oh, how did that guy... I smashed into something else and then crashed. The feel of this could be described at this point as a simulation. It feels like we're simulating what it's like to control a helicopter. Oh, there it is. That's what I'm talking about. Take it out. Nice. Yeah, so I'm wondering how Dan Gorlin did this port. In fact, whenever I look at all the ports, they have Dan Gorlin as the credit for it, not just the inspiration as the first version. So I'm wondering if he did all of the major ports of Choplifter. Yeah, that's a good point, Curtis. Uh-oh, not looking good. You see it's coming? And that right there is waiting to the last minute and dying. And everybody in your chopper is dead now. You and your friends are dead. Way to go, Broderbund. All right, so I'm already seeing a 1 rating from the chat. Still calling it 4.5 stars. This one is not as good as the Apple II because of that control. The 2 buttons on the Apple II joystick really make it shine, but this one's still one of the best games you could play on a home computer. Does it still work as a game that would be one of the best you could play? In other words, our range of 4.5 to 5 stars. I'm going to say because of the control, this is actually what most of the ports have, because a lot of the other home computers have only 1 button, so Dan Gorlin had to figure out the best way to make it work. So I'm seeing, yeah, controls are worsening it down to even a whole star, so I'm seeing lots of 4s from the chat right now. I'm not going to be as harsh. I still find this fantastic. If you had an Atari home computer and an Apple II computer, you wouldn't have that big of a difference between the two. Yeah, that's true. The single button really hampered a lot. But I'll say 4.5 stars for everything you can play right now on a home computer. Still an excellent game. It's really, really fun. All right, it's time to put the video game playing on pause. Tune in next time on Chronologically Gaming, where it's about time a new publisher comes out for the Atari VCS. Please stop. No more publishers. We don't need anyone to make more games for the Atari VCS, but that'll be what's happening next time. That's it for today, and like I always say, a video game does not have to have a story. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.